Okay, I'm here to talk about boundaries. Boundaries keep us safe. They are so important for us to have. So I wanted to get this up and going, and I've got you on my phone, which I'm not used to doing it on my phone. But anyway, so the best way that I know how to set boundaries is by embodying them, meaning using our physical bodies to have movement while we boundary. And that, to me, helps me set boundaries. Otherwise, they're kind of in my head and I don't really understand them and I get confused. So, step one of setting boundaries is to know what's valuable to you. Like, what is your value system? What is important to you? And if you don't know, make sure that you do some investigation in figuring out so that you do know. Because knowing ourselves, like knowing what is important to us, is so, like, step one in taking care of ourselves. So how do you figure out what your values are? Go online, Google values, pick out like 3, maybe at the most 5, and then write little descriptions, like just 1-sentence descriptions. Like, I'll just use an example. Like, one of mine is love. And what is love? For me, love is a healthy, balanced relationship with others of giving and receiving. The full circle of love. So, when we get into situations, especially with people that trigger us, like our families, it's really hard or easy for us to let go of boundaries of our value system. And it's hard for us to consciously set boundaries because we get triggered so fast and we're in reaction. So we want to be prepared and practice boundary setting before we get into those situations that trigger us, with those people that trigger us. So I'm going to give you a practice to do. So left side of our body is our self side, and that's where we set internal boundaries. And the space in our body where boundaries are held is here in this solar plexus between the V of the ribs and our navel. And we take our left hand and place it in that space to set internal boundaries. So we know our value. So my value is love. I'm going to keep my value of love no matter what's going on around there. That's my boundary to myself. Then, when something comes up out there and somebody says, like my brother asked me over to watch a football game, and that doesn't match my value of love because it's too violent for me, then I say to my brother, no thank you. And that's done with my right hand, because the right side of our body is external. It's outside of ourselves. So we gesture to the outer world with our right hand. So we keep ourselves safe. I'm going to hold my boundary of love. And then we gesture to the outer world. No, thank you. I don't want to watch the football game. Now, here's the thing also about boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, meaning they're movable. So you might say, I'm going to keep my value of love. No, thank you. I'm not going to watch the football game. But then what I could do is say, but hey, bro, how about after the game we go for a walk? So then we at least have some connection time. Or I could say, no, thank you. I'm not going to watch the football game, but maybe I can come over at halftime and bring some hors d'oeuvres or something like that. So they have movement in them. They're not just a solid like, no. There's movement in there. So I hope this is making sense, and this is your practice this week. Get to know your values. Use your left hand to internal boundary yourself so that you know, okay, I have a boundary of love, I have a value of love, I have a value of respect, I have a value of truth, whatever, honesty, whatever they may be for you. Know them, and then you can set them and keep them with the gesture of your left hand. I'm not going to lose my values over anything that's going on around there. And then take your right hand and start saying no to what doesn't meet your value system, or possibly adding in something that you could work with so they're movable, like, oh, another suggestion. Or sometimes you check in with yourself and like, that meets my value of love, and you say yes, you bring it in. So I hope this is making sense to you. Try some boundary setting this week using these gestures, and let me know how it goes. Thank you for being with me, and I have a whole practice on boundary setting on the Ageless Movement practices at agelessmovemore.com. So check those out, and you'll be a boundary setting badass, woo, in no time. Thanks for joining me this morning. All right, bye.